And here we have the star of today's show, Maggi sauce. Now you've asked me to give this a try, and for good reason, as many people consider this the secret weapon to make all food taste better. It does check a lot of boxes. It's inexpensive, widely available, a more complex flavor than soy sauce, and just a few drops will amp up the flavor of anything. So today we're going to be putting it to the test. And for that, I'll be using it in these 3 beautiful steaks. Take a look. They are all ribeyes. They have a great marbling on them. That's these little white spectacles you see throughout the steaks. The more of these little white things you got in the middle, the better. Now here's how this experiment is going to go down. For the very first steak, we're going to be using this steak right here. Now this one is pretty simple. All I gotta do is to add a lot of that Maggi sauce right on top of it. Then using a brush, I spread the whole thing around, ensuring that the whole thing is covered with it. I don't want to overdo it though, because this Maggi sauce is quite strong, so brushing it is the way to go. And once I was done, take a look. Comparing them with the other steaks, you can clearly see that this thing is completely different. But now we gotta get them seasoned, so I wanted to keep it exactly the same. That way the only differences between them is the sauce. So I went with a good amount of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. Once that was done, I bagged them up, vacuum sealed them, and they were now ready for sous vide. Now for the second steak, this is what we're gonna do. Instead of cooking it with the Maggi sauce, I'm gonna make a custom sauce. And here's how to do it. Into a saucepan, I added about 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. Then immediately throw in some shallots. Started to cook it up, but I don't want it to brown. Once everything was simmering down, I threw in some garlic. Before it started to brown the whole thing, I immediately added the Maggi sauce. A very good amount. To be specific, about 3 tablespoons. Mixed everything well and brought it to a simmer. Then I added heavy cream, about 1 cup. Seasoned it with freshly ground black pepper. Mixed everything well and brought it to a simmer. We want this sauce to thicken up, so I let the whole thing reduce to about half. Because once I was happy with the consistency, my sauce was done. And you saw how easy it is to make, and it takes no time at all. We're going to be using this for our very second steak. And obviously the third one will be the control. But now that we got the sauces ready and also the steaks, we can't just eat that. So I decided to make an incredible side dish. Now this one might be even easier than the sauce. Now the great thing about it is that it can stand on its own as a main dish, because it is so good. And to make it, it's super simple, and here's how. Into a carbon steel pan, I added a little bit of avocado oil. Immediately threw in some ground beef. Remember, it releases a lot of juices right in the beginning, so keeping it under high heat is the way to go. Now notice that I did not add any seasoning to this beef. That's because we're gonna add the Maggi sauce right now. A good amount. Now this thing is flavorful and salty, so instead of adding salt, this is my salty element. Then I mixed everything together and tasted for seasoning. And I'll tell you one thing, it was perfect. I'm quite impressed how well this tastes with just the sauce by itself. This thing should be really good with our steaks. Now moving on, the next thing to do is to add a little bit of oil into the clean pan, followed by some minced shallots, minced garlic, and ginger paste. Mix everything together and cook it under medium-low heat. We don't want this thing to burn. At the same time, we want to bring out the flavors by cooking it for 1 minute. It is ideal to mix it up little by little. The last thing we want is for the garlic to burn. Once it became fragrant and noticed that it's not brown yet, I added some conjugado spicy flakes. Mix everything well and combine the ingredients together. Cook it for an additional 1 minute. Then I added some oyster sauce. Mix everything together and cook it for an additional 1 minute. Keep in mind to keep the heat in low. If not, things are just gonna burn on you. As the next thing to do is to add our noodles. You can use any noodles you like, but I chose to use these egg noodles today, as the only thing to do now is to mix everything together and combine. Add a little bit of dark soy sauce, followed by the Maggi ground beef we just cooked. Mixed everything well until everything is fully covered with it. Taste it for seasoning, and if it's needed, add a little bit of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper. Mix it a little bit more. Throw it into a nice serving dish. Add some green onions right on top, because today's side dish is done. Now I'll tell you one thing, it is so good by itself that it can be a meal. I hate to call it a side dish, as it's much more. However, it's going to be pairing up perfect with our steaks. Talking about that, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. For that, I'll be doing so at 129 degrees Fahrenheit for 1.5 hours. And the reason for that is because these steaks are not as thick as my usual ones, and I cannot wait to find out which one is gonna be best. As you guys know, I do not like spicy food too much, but that pasta, everybody, I had to taste a little bit just for seasoning. Lord have mercy, because that was delicious. At the same time, which one is it gonna be better? The steak cooked on the sauce or the sauce we just made it separately? I cannot wait to find out, because the steaks are ready, we are hungry, and it is time to take it out. Let's do it. As expected, when you take it out of sous vide bag, everybody, the steak never looks like it has a nice crust because it needs some flamethrower action on it. Now, as you know, one was already cooked with the sauce inside. The other one, we made it separately. So as soon as I slice it open after the sear, I'm gonna be pouring the sauce right on top first to try. Because I know exactly what you're thinking. I know my steaks don't look that good right now, but watch this. All right, everybody, here we got our beautiful steaks, gentlemen, with a little bit of side dish.
I'm happy, bro.
Why are you happy?
It's the first time in a lot of videos that you say we have our beautiful steaks, and I can actually be like, yeah, we do.
They do look
We
fantastic.
have beautiful steaks today.
I got a little experiment, all right? But this one is by the request of our viewers. So, you know, they always have amazing ideas.
I think this is gonna be a real good one, just because we have our own individual sauces.
Exactly.
Now I can be extra gluttonous.
Fair enough. Let's give this a go. Ready? All right, let's dig in the first one, please. Here is our beautiful sous vide steak. It just smells like heaven, everybody.
So tender.
Enough talking. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh, it never gets old.
Control.
Come on.
Control is always the key, everybody. Absolutely delicious.
Sous vide steak is just so freaking flavorful and tender. It blows me away every single time I try it.
The number one question I always get asked, which one do you like better, Guga? Is it charcoal steak on the grill or is it a sous vide steak? Listen, there's a reason I have two channels. I can't pick. Sometimes I'm on the mood for this. Sometimes I'm on the mood for the outside. So we can all agree this one is amazing?
Control's always amazing, bro.
Couldn't agree more.
Very good. Let's go for the second one. Now, the second one is a special sauce, which is the sauce I just made right there. I want your guys' honest opinion. I already dunk a little bit, not gonna lie, but I say we go for an extra dunk.
Okay. I was just about to ask if we can dunk this.
Let's give this a go. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, papa.
My goodness, that sauce is insanely good.
I don't know what's happening with my arm, but I did something there. That was amazing, everybody. That was amazing.
Immediately, the first thing I taste is that just ridiculous creaminess that you get, and it's so savory. I love it. Sous vide steak, super juicy and tender, but the sauce really brings it all home with the crazy amount of flavors and just creaminess that you get from it. I love this sauce.
I think it's extremely flavorful.
Yeah.
But very extreme. It's so flavorful that you can't pinpoint it.
I think what Angel said is really important, where it just tastes like there's so many complex flavors here. It's really hard to nail down what exactly it is. Like I taste some mushroom, it tastes like mac and cheese a little bit. Like
There's even like a flavor that's familiar but like not familiar at the same time.
that's why I kind of say mac and cheese. I don't know. That's
Right? It's like there's something in there that you feel like you've had it.
What you're both trying to describe is what's called the fifth taste, umami. Oh. That's what it's called, the umami.
Yeah, it does linger too.
Yeah, this thing is extremely flavorful and that lingers in your mouth, a wonderful taste that you just want to keep swallowing and savoring. That's what umami is supposed to taste like. This is rich of umami, everybody. That's how I can describe it.
wait.
Damn, hold on. Did you just
Whoa.
do magic right there?
Where'd you get those?
Watch out, everybody. I'm gonna do some magic for you guys because I'm ready for the side dish. Okay. But first, do we agree that this sauce was amazing?
Yes.
Now let's try this side dish. I must give a little quick warning, okay? There's a little bit of spiciness in here.
I'm interested to see how spicy it is because it does not smell spicy whatsoever.
No, it's gonna be palatable. It's gonna be great. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. That's delicious.
That's nice.
This is the perfect pasta for Guga.
Why?
Because not spicy.
Not spicy at all.
I do get a little bit of heat after you finish chewing and you swallow it, but it's like Angel said, it's very mild. It's nothing crazy.
These guys had the one chip challenge. After that, they had no more spiciness fear. If you haven't seen that video, you should. All right, let's move on because it's all about this steak now. You guys ready?
Oh yeah.
All right, dig in. Let me know. Give me your honest opinion in here. I want to know which one is better, the sauce on the side or this steak. Are you guys ready?
So no dip.
No dipping.
No dipping.
Let's see. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh.
That's so strange without the sauce, because it tastes like the sauce.
It tastes like the sauce.
It's exactly like Angel said. It's like the sauce is already baked into it.
That is nice. I like it.
It's good. I think that it has the flavor of the previous sauce. It's really flavorful. It's really nice. Like Gugu was saying, it has that umami flavor. For me though, it's just lacking that creaminess that you get from the last steak.
I will say that this is a completely different flavor in the steak that changes the profile of the steak a bit.
If I had to pay for any of these steaks, I'm paying for the second one. The control with the dip is by far the best experience.
This steak is amazing. The third one, which was cooked on it, it's great. But at the same time, because you get to experience two things, cooking the sauce on the side is better. Do we all agree?
I agree, because then you get the best of both worlds.
Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.